Have you ever paused at the start of your day and asked yourself, what will I make of this moment? Or are you still carrying the weight of yesterday, unknowingly anchoring yourself to regrets that can't be rewritten? Do you ever wonder why? Some days feel heavy, like you're sleepwalking through life, while others crackle with purpose. The difference isn't luck, it's intention. Today, we walk the Stoic path, not as a lecture, but as a practice, a ritual of renewal, inspired by the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, not just as emperor, but as a man fighting daily to align thought with virtue. If you're ready to let go of what you can't control and finally live with inner strength and clarity, you're in the right place. Make sure to subscribe for more grounded insights into the art of self-mastery. 1. The past is a closed book. Read it, don't live in it. Too many of us wake up shackled to memories. We replay mistakes, rehash conversations, and relive failures, hoping the past will somehow deliver a different outcome. It's like trying to rewrite a story that's already printed, its ink long since dried. This attachment to what was can become a form of self-sabotage, a quiet but constant loop that pulls us out of the now. And worse, it keeps us blind to the opportunities in front of us. The Stoics understood this trap well, recognizing that living in the past is a distortion of reality, a distraction disguised as reflection. But the Stoics knew something most of us forget. The past is a story, not a sentence. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. That's not just a poetic musing. It's a principle of liberation. We often believe that past failures define us, that past hurts still have permission to wound us, and that former identities must follow us forever. But none of that is written in the stars. The past cannot control us unless we hand it the keys to our inner life. Stoicism teaches us to separate what happened from how we interpret what happened, and that distinction is the difference between imprisonment and freedom. You can reflect on yesterday, but you mustn't serve it. Stoicism teaches us to return to the present, where our only power lies in reasoned choice, in moral action. Reflection has its place. It teaches, it warns, it guides. But when it crosses into rumination, it becomes a chain. The Stoic does not deny the past, but views it with distance, neutrality, and clarity. Epictetus put it plainly, it's not things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. When we dwell on past events, we must ask, am I learning or am I looping? When regret whispers, remind yourself, it's already written. What matters now is how you write the next page. Life isn't a script you're stuck following. It's a journal you update with every choice, every value-driven action, every moment. You return to what's in your control. Regret loses its sting when it meets responsibility. The past holds no power unless you grant it authority in the present. Close the chapter, not with bitterness, but with awareness. The book of your life continues. Make the next paragraph count. 2. Each morning is a new trial. Enter it mindfully. Imagine this. You awaken not with dread or distraction, but with a sense of deliberate renewal. That's how Marcus began his days, with meditations, not on what he owned, but on who he wished to be. Morning isn't just the start of another day. It's a sacred checkpoint, a threshold between sleep and intention. Most people roll into the day reactive, already behind, already stressed, but the Stoic reframes the dawn as a courtroom. Today, you will be tested, you will be challenged, and your character, not your comfort, will determine whether you pass. Daily. Discipline isn't about rigidity, it's about liberation. It's freedom through form. When you start your morning with reflection, you steer the ship before storms arrive. Think of it like setting coordinates on a compass. You don't wait until you're lost to figure out where you're going. And the Stoics didn't wait until life got hard to decide how they'd respond. They prepared each morning for difficulty. They rehearsed virtue. Seneca advised us to premeditate adversity, to mentally face discomfort before it arrives, so that when it does, we meet it not as a surprise, but as an old acquaintance. Stoic practice invites you to open each day with a question. What virtue will I embody today? Will I act with justice, patience, courage? These aren't abstract ideals, they're daily companions. Each moment you interact with others, each challenge you meet, is an opportunity to practice them. The day is your training ground. The world becomes your dojo. The question is not whether you'll face difficulty, but whether you'll meet it as a philosopher or a victim. It's not complicated. A notebook, a few lines, a moment of silence. Then you move, not blindly, but awake. Mindful mornings are less about how long you meditate and more about what you plant. Seeds of clarity, seeds of courage. You water them not once, but over and over, because storms will come, and you'll need strong roots. Marcus wrote to himself because he understood, if I don't direct my mind, the world will. So each morning, pause, reflect, and step forward, not as a passenger, but as the captain of your soul. 3. Stoic laws of clarity. Philosophy becomes practical when it simplifies the chaos. These 3 Stoic precepts will do exactly that. Stoicism isn't a library of obscure concepts. It's a blueprint for how to think, act, and live when life gets messy. It offers you structure in confusion and power where you once felt helpless. These maxims are not meant to be memorized like rules, but to be internalized like instincts. When chaos arrives, these laws bring clarity. They reorient the mind to what truly matters. First, the dichotomy of control. You must sort your life like you sort your mail. What's for you to act on and what's not. Anxiety feeds on confusion. Clarity begins with this filter. You can't control traffic, but you can control your reaction to it. You can't control others' opinions, but you can control your integrity. The moment you divide your concerns into 2 buckets, mine and not mine, you begin to experience inner peace. Epictetus built his whole philosophy around this single idea, and once you adopt it, you'll stop wasting energy on what was never yours to carry. Second, memento mori. Remember death, not morbidly, but mindfully. When you understand that time is limited, small frustrations shrink, and your values sharpen. Death isn't a topic the Stoics avoided. They embraced it. Why? Because awareness of mortality is the ultimate prioritizer. When you realize life is short, you stop procrastinating on what matters and stop obsessing over what doesn't. You begin to speak more honestly, live more boldly, and forgive more freely. Memento mori reminds you, this moment is not guaranteed. So use it. Third, the obstacle is the way. Life is never a straight line. But Stoicism flips hardship on its head. Each difficulty isn't in the way. It is the way. It reveals who you are and shapes who you can become. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." It's a radical reframe. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" the Stoic asks, "What strength is this calling from me?" Obstacles are not interruptions, they are invitations. Opportunities to develop wisdom, courage, and endurance. Apply these not as mantras, but as lenses, and your days will become less reactive, more deliberate. When things go wrong, and they will, these maxims form a mental scaffolding to keep you upright. They strip life of illusion and return you to what is essential: right thought, right action, right character. Philosophy doesn't need to be abstract. It can be 3 simple rules. Master these and you master yourself. 4. From theory to practice, your daily Stoic toolkit. This isn't about armchair philosophy. This is a call to do. Here's how you bring Stoicism from the pages into your pulse. Philosophy in the Stoic tradition was never designed to be abstract or ornamental. It was a discipline, a practice, a lived ethic. What matters isn't how much you know about Seneca or Epictetus. It's how quickly you can apply their wisdom when your child screams at you, your partner criticizes you unfairly, or the deal you counted on falls through. Stoicism is a daily drill, not a diploma. You prepare for adversity like a soldier sharpens his blade, patiently, daily, with intention. Morning. Start with 3 lines. What virtue do I need today? What challenge am I likely to face? What would Marcus do? This morning reflection isn't just about journaling. It's about rehearsing character. When you wake, before the noise of the world seeps in, take 5 minutes to preview the battlefield of your day. Will you need courage in a meeting where you must speak truth to power? Will patience serve you when dealing with a chaotic household? Write it down. 3 lines. Short, sharp, sacred. And that last question, what would Marcus do, grounds you in perspective. It's not about idolizing the man, but emulating his mindset. He ruled the most powerful empire on earth, but still questioned his ego each dawn. Midday. When tension strikes, pause. Ask, is this within my control? Am I reacting or responding? Take a breath. Choose a response aligned with character, not comfort. This is where theory meets reality. You had your morning plan, but now life is throwing punches. Someone cuts you off in traffic, a client ghosts you, or your co-worker undermines you in a meeting. Your instincts want to lash out, but Stoicism says, pause. Insert space between stimulus and response. Examine it. Is this anger necessary? Is this helpful? You are not a puppet pulled by the strings of emotion. You are a rational being capable of choosing your stance. This moment, this breath, is where your virtue becomes visible. Evening. Close the loop. Reflect. Did I act with temperance? Was I fair? Did I waste time? Like a general reviewing his troops. Look without judgment, but never without honesty. Before you sleep, scan the day like a Stoic strategist. This isn't self-loathing, it's self-auditing. Ask yourself if you upheld your values. Where did you slip? Not to shame yourself, but to prepare better for tomorrow. The Roman Emperor. Marcus Aurelius did this nightly. He didn't write to impress, but to inspect. That's your model. 1 paragraph. 1 act of courage or cowardice. 1 lesson extracted from the dust of action. That's how you grow. Self-improvement isn't about hacks. It's about habit. Habit rooted in values. That's where real change begins. Stoicism rejects the modern obsession with shortcuts. There is no 5-step formula to instant peace. Instead, there is daily, disciplined, deliberate action. Not once in a while, not when you feel inspired. Every single day. You train like an athlete, not for a game, but for life. And over time, those tiny moments of choice, 1 pause here, 1 honest answer there, become your character. They become your destiny. This is the Stoic Toolkit. Morning intention, midday awareness, evening reflection. Use it, sharpen it, live it. 5. The emperor who looked inward. Marcus Aurelius ruled Rome, but his greatest conquest was inward. Plague, war, betrayal, he faced them all. But his legacy isn't power, it's poise. In a time when emperors were measured by bloodshed and expansion, Marcus chose a different battleground, the battlefield of the soul. He faced military revolts, personal tragedies, and the Black Plague itself. Yet through it all, his writings reflect a man more concerned with mastering his impulses than defeating his enemies. That is his true greatness. Not his title, but his temperament. While others built monuments, Marcus built mental fortresses. He wrote not for followers, but for himself. A man in command of an empire, yet humble enough to seek self-correction. His meditations were never meant to be published. That's what makes them pure. There's no audience in mind, no attempt at eloquence, just raw, honest reminders to be decent, rational, and just. He scribbled notes to himself in Greek, repeating, the same questions, the same reminders, the same exhortations. That humility, coming from the most powerful man alive, is a lesson in itself. If an emperor can doubt, reflect, and seek virtue, what excuse do we have? And what's striking is this: the same questions he asked himself about anger, purpose, mortality are the ones we face daily. That's the timeless nature of truth. Marcus wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This isn't morbid, it's motivational. He reminds us that urgency isn't for panic, but for purpose. His doubts about losing control, about the weight of leadership, about staying kind in a cruel world. Aren't those our struggles too? That's what makes him relatable, not his crown, but his candor. To follow Marcus isn't to mimic him, it's to model his method. Question yourself, seek virtue, correct your course, every single day. Don't try to be a Roman emperor, try to be someone who takes responsibility for their own soul. Marcus didn't write meditations to impress the Senate or win over the public. He wrote to remind himself, stay just, stay rational, stay kind. That's our roadmap. When we feel rage boil, we ask, is this necessary? When we feel pride swell, we ask, is this true? When we feel despair creeping in, we remind ourselves, this moment is not forever. That's Stoicism, not cold detachment, but courageous alignment with virtue. Let Marcus be your mirror, not your idol. Learn from how he navigated chaos with clarity, how he found calm without comfort, and how he reigned without letting power corrupt him. In a world addicted to noise, his voice is a whisper from the past, urging us to be still, be strong, and be just. His greatness wasn't his rule, it was his refusal to let external chaos dictate internal collapse. That is the Stoic way, and that can be yours too. You are not yesterday's choices. You are not tomorrow's fears. You are this moment, ready to shape what comes next. Let go of what you can't hold. Take hold of what you can, your mind, your actions, your attitude. Start small. Write. Reflect. Choose one Stoic principle and live it for just one day. Then repeat. Philosophy isn't for classrooms. It's for kitchens, subways, street corners, boardrooms. It's for you, right now. If you found value in this message, subscribe and keep walking the path with us. Your transformation doesn't start tomorrow. It starts today.